Hey, what's up, guys? I thought I'd just make a quick Command and Conquer Tiberian Sun tutorial. There's still people actually playing these games, and they're quite fun with the right people. And the point of this video is try to recruit more players. And it seems that there needs to be someone out there who's willing to teach new players some of the basics of the game so that they can actually have a good time and win, because no one likes to play a game that you never win. Okay, so I'm just going to jump right in here. Right here I just have two computer players and I'm spectating, so I'm in spectator mode. So there's two things in spectator mode. You get to view the whole map. Usually there is a cloud of shroud that once you open stays open, so it's not fog of war as some RTSs are. But anyway, there's two races that I want to just introduce you into, and they have different pros and cons. I would recommend starting with this race here, which is GDI. So the two races are GDI and NOD. And GDI is just a lot easier to learn. It's more of an offensive race, where the NOD player down here is usually more defensive, at least in the competitive scene. You can be pretty aggressive as a NOD player, but you have to be pretty good. So just keep that in mind. Probably start as GDI. And the main point of the game is to gather resources, and in this game it's called Tiberium. That's just this green stuff right here, and it sprouts from this little tree. So it is limited, but it does grow a little bit. So part of the game is to learn to expand to new resources, and as you can see, there's some blue resources up here that are worth a little bit more. So one harvester dump of green, I believe, is 700, and with the blue is 1100. Okay, so you're trying to get some resources, train some units, and try to, number one, so the goal of the game is, number one, to try to take out your opponent, but also more importantly, what some players forget is that you want to keep your base intact. So you want to have the integrity of your base at the end of the game while they have been completely destroyed. That is the objective. So people will go to very long lengths towards the end of the game when the pressure's on to try to finish the player. And you'll see that in a lot of games where all of a sudden it's just full force because they want to make sure that they can take you out because they know that they're going to lose or something like that. But anyway, this game is pretty boring with computers. I'm not doing much, but you can kind of get a sense of the different units that they're making. You can see here. So here's an APC that can go on water. Oh, that exploded into wheels. Oh, there's another one. This is a very interesting tactic. The tires in the water. Yeah, so you can see there are some defensive units. So this is a SAM that attacks air. This is an RPG that attacks ground, specifically armored units. So like this guy's, for example. And then you have, I forget what these are called. They're probably just called turrets. These are for infantry. These units right here are called disruptors. It's rare that you see them actually walk because there is a carry-all unit that allows you to transport these units in the air very quickly, and is actually the heart of the tactics in GDI, is those carry-alls. Yeah, this is a very boring game to cast. Let's see. Is there tech unit? So okay, there's a missile for NOD, and also a stealth unit. You don't see that very often though, unless you're playing on the mod maps or it's very late in a game. So he did build the Temple of Nod, which allows you to build a Cyborg Commando, which is Nod's, I guess, tier 3 unit or whatever, the top tier. Yeah, this game. Oh, there's the ion cannon. So that was built from here. yeah, so there's not much going on. So I'm actually just going to quit this game. And when you're ready to quit a game, you can go to options and you can surrender. Well, I'm in spectator mode. You can surrender and it'll allow you to stay, and it'll reveal the map to you. Or another quick way is to do Alt F4, and that's usually true for all video games, Alt F4. So you can see this thing was dependent on the power, and you can see that when you're in spectator mode it gives you values. Also tells you what people are building. So it's almost recommended that when you first start, you just spec a few games and see what the players are doing, because you'll see that they do not play the way that the computers do. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and quit this game. But before I do, I should have introduced the map. This is a very popular map for 8 players. It's called Forest Fires. It's a 4v4. And this is probably the best map to learn to play on, because there's only one choke point for your opponent to scout you, and it's easy to cover that. And it also is usually a lot of air units because of this this water and separating the choke points between the two sides of the map. Oh, there's a Seeker. So that's not in GDI. I have the Seeker missile, and it's very random where it goes. Let's see if it gets anything. Oh, I got some Marines. Yeah, so that's this thing here for GDI, and this thing here for Nod. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and quit this game.
Battle control offline.
And I'm going to go ahead and just show you a quick build order. Let's see, I want to start 6. Alright, I'll throw on a computer. Just throw in an easy one, just so I can show you. Let's put this guy number 1. Oh. Hold on one sec, guys. 3. No, number 1. Okay. So what's popular to do in this game is something that we call a 1 ref. So you just put 1 refinery down and you go as fast as you can in the tech. And what you're trying to do is get a quick KO. And this really does work on this big 8-player map. Okay. So before you begin, you should actually set your hotkeys. So these are the way that my hotkeys are set. It doesn't matter what you set them to, whatever you're comfortable with. But make sure you set those hotkeys, especially the place building and the repeat next building. Those hotkeys are really important. They help you a lot, especially when you have your resolution set so big. It doesn't. So basically, you don't have to go all the way to the menu on the right and then back over. Okay, so when the game starts, I immediately just press ED. So ED real quick, and it deploys. And then you immediately want to get that power plant going. Okay? When the power plant's done, you can press B. So just B and it'll pop up. And then you want to get a barracks. And the position I chose is actually a very important one on Forest Fires. So in Forest Fires, if you remember, I showed you the map. There's actually a bridge that can be destroyed. And the job of this person who starts right here is to destroy that bridge. Okay? So 3 disc bombers will do that, or disc throwers will do that. Okay. My refinery is done, so I'm going to go ahead and push that down with B. I'm going to build a radar. And at the same time, I'm going to get over to this bridge. And if you hold control, push force fire on the bridge. And that's actually the same button that you use for the waypoint on your buildings. Okay. And then I'm going to get a SAM. And then I'm going to hit P and turn my radar offline. Because when you have low power, things build 50% slower. Okay? And what I didn't mention is that the radar allows you to build a jump jet, or a JJ, and the SAM, which is why I built that component tower. Okay, the JJ can actually float float. He's got a jetpack, and he can fly over to your opponent. And this is why I have a defensive SAM as well. Okay. So when I get my factory down, I get a little extra power with these power turbines. I'm gonna get a helipad. Okay, so one thing that I forgot to mention is two things. Is let me get the pad down and the tech going. Is you do actually want to scout around your base and the map. So right now there's just complete blackness around me, except my little JJ. So usually what's best is to land. Please land. So I messed up there, but you want to land and run it in. Because usually your opponent does have a SAM. Okay, so I got my tech down.
New construction options.
And then I have my service depot, which allows me to get the carry-all. And while that's going, I'm going to build one of these units here, the disruptor. And what I should mention is that you don't need the radar, and you don't need a tech. So you can actually sell those as soon as you get them. Just keep in mind that you do need both a war factory and a radar if you want to build a tech center. Okay, so you have to make sure you have a war factory before you sell the radar, is what I should say. Okay, so now that I have this service depot, I can build a carry-all. Oh god, I'm getting attacked by the computer. I'm gonna die to an easy computer. Trying to do a demo. Alright. Oh no, is the disruptor good against these guys? I don't even know. Oh, I guess they're okay. This is pretty interesting game. I don't know if this would ever happen to you in a forest fire game, but it could. Okay, so once you got the disruptor, you can grab it with the carry-all. And you can number things here. It's control 1. Well, you can press 1 again, it'll grab it. And control 2 if you want for your disruptor. That's only if you have 1. If you have 2, maybe you want to do 1 for each carry-all. And you can see down here, these guys did kill the bridge. So I'm going to go back home. And I'm actually telling them to go back home using Q, so that they'll go along a different path than straight there. Okay, so what you can do now with the disruptor is fly over to any base. I don't have a good scout, so this is not really the best attack. But once you get over there, oh, you saw stealth too. What I was going to try to show you is, oh, the thing's dead. This is a horrible demonstration. What I wanted to show you, I might just do it on my own base, is that you can one-shot buildings. That's every building except the construction yard with a disruptor, and kill your opponent very fast. And that's probably the best way to learn this game, is just to keep practicing doing that so that you win. That's how I learned StarCraft too, by the way, is lots of cheese. Because that makes it fun. Alright, so I'm going to sell the service depot, so I don't need it. So here's an example. There's artillery coming. This is hilarious. Okay, so what you want to do is land in a corner of a building, and then you want to hit control and force fire diagonally through the building, and it'll one-shot it. Okay, so you can do it here as well. You can do it on every corner. Let's see if that's right. Huh, I've actually never used that corner before, but it's good to know. And then what you'll see for the command center, if you do your diagonal, is it actually brings it down to 2 bars. Okay, so usually you want to have 2 disruptors to do that, and it's real quick. Or you can also shoot and Q, and it'll move while it's shooting, so you can actually kind of move away and grab the disruptor and fly away and win the game. Go attack someone else. Okay, so that was pretty fun. Demonstration getting owned by an easy computer. See if it actually kills me. It just sits there. Yeah, it's gonna get me. But just keep in mind, if you do have the short game tab on, which is usually what players do, is as soon as you lose your last building, irregardless if you have units, it's game over. You're done. Okay, so that was just a quick introduction to the game. Nothing too technical to talk about, really, as far as strategy goes. You just want to practice your build orders, and the 1-ref disruptor is probably one of the most popular for new players. Alright, so that's it for this video, and stay tuned for part 2.